How do you defy life? By standing out from the crowd, living life on your own terms, being unapologetically you. Say it all with Defy Life gear. Stylish apparel and accessories for men, women, and kids. T-shirts, hoodies, hats, bags, outerwear, and more. Visit DefyLifeGear.com for all of your Defy Life gear. And remember, your lifestyle should always be defiant. DefyLifeGear.com.
The following podcast is being brought to you by the Defy Life Podcast Network.
But when you are a guard and you can pull off from 30, there is very little that can be done with you. And that is the case with Stephen Curry. He don't need help. He don't need screens. He can create his own shot off the dribble.
Yeah. Ooh, Coach put me in the game. I can hit the shot from half court. MVP of all sports. Coach put me in the game. You know I'm the truth on the field. Pad up. Competition know the deal. Coach put me in the game. Woo. Yeah. Coach put me in the game. Coach put me in the game. Welcome to the Coach Staley, Coach English Show. Ghoulish gang. Coach put me in the game.
Welcome back to the Staley in English Show with Coach Kurtz. I'm your man, Coach English, and I'm here with Coach Staley, Coach Kurtz. Had a busy schedule today, so he couldn't make it, but we got a very, very special guest for you today. But as always, we're going to start off with a little check-in. Josh, how was your week?
Yeah, I appreciate Brother Smallwood being on with us today. And once again, thank you for being on. We really, really appreciate that. We don't take anything for granted. But my week's been blessed. My week's been blessed as always. No complaints. No. Been super busy. Got 3 sons, and 2 of them are literally in full blast travel basketball and baseball right now. Talon's out playing in a baseball game. Jason has another game this week. They literally both had tournaments this weekend. So I've been blessed to be busy. A lot of people call not having a lot of time in the day and being so busy a struggle. I call it a blessing because you could be sitting on your hands doing exactly nothing. And then last but not least, I was extremely bothered by the tragedy that occurred early yesterday afternoon with rapper Nipsey Hussle. If you know his story, first and foremost, prayers out to his family, his kids, all of his loved ones, man, because, it's a lot we take for granted every day. Waking up, hugging the people you love, just seeing the people you care about, and we take that for granted. And, then something like this happens, and it kind of puts us all in a shock. And if you know his story and you know some of the things he stood for, it hurts even more because he wasn't just using his platform for himself. He was actually lifting other people as he climbed. So, I'm just praying that, his loved ones find healing through God and they get through it. But that really bothers me. I'm not going to lie. I'm working on some things myself to try to help prevent things like this. But, it's just hard. But Coach E, how was your week, brother?
Man, my week been slow motion, man. Moving and trying to get this whole house packed up so I could move 2 houses down. But for the most part,
that's not really moving. That's not really moving.
Josh, this is where we always have a problem. Like, you always got to downplay like what I'm doing. Just be like, hey, bro, you moving. You didn't even offer the help. Man, I'll come to Hartsville to help you. You didn't even offer the help.
I didn't know you were moving. You know why? Because that's not moving. Do you have a U-Haul truck? A rider?
I'm going to get a U-Haul tomorrow.
Exactly. You're not moving.
But let's get to the meat of the subject, man, while we're here today. We are blessed to have San Francisco 49er wide receiver Jordan Smallwood on the show. Welcome to the show, Jordan.
Man, thank you guys for having me on the show. It's a blessing.
Hey, man. Well, let's start off with we're gonna start off with a little current events. Everybody knows what's going on, the NCAA tournament. Josh, what are your thoughts on the Final Four? Like, what did you think? What are your thoughts?
Oh, before we get into thoughts, let's hear a little bit about Jordan.
Oh, yeah,
Jordan,
definitely.
Give us a little background on yourself, brother. Give us a little background so that our listeners can know exactly who they're listening to.
My name is Jordan Smallwood, of course. Grew up, raised out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. Ended up going to Jenks High School, a dominant power 6A school, was well known, Jenks Union rivalry. Have the opportunity and blessed to play for Coach Stoops and Coach Riley at the University of Oklahoma throughout my career, and now I'm moving forward playing in the NFL with Coach Shanahan. So it's been a real journey, been a blessing, been some ups and downs at the same time. But at the end of the day, I think that's something that everybody has to go through in life, to mold themselves as an athlete and as a character builder in their life as well. So that's something a little bit about myself as well. Family, love my family to death. I think I got the most sense of humor out of all my family. They all love me. Probably one of the funniest people around. If you get to know me, I'm real funny. I won't lie. But just a hard worker at the same time. I love to compete, love to grind, love to work. And at the end of the day, if you can have that, I think you can do anything in the world.
All right. Well, I got a question for you. You said that you had an opportunity to play for at Oklahoma 2 different coaches. Like, what was it like? Because I know some student athletes can't really deal with change when it comes to coaching staffs. Like, what was that like for you?
At first, it was a little of a culture shock. Just the fact that you committed to play for a coach that was going to be there for your whole career. And when you got that news that I'm stepping down, retiring. This is going to be the new coach. You start having some worries and doubts just because it's a new coach. He has new players, new people that he likes. And it kind of gets you, a little bit on the edge. But when he came in, he showed his love from the get-go. He's a great players coach. Coach Riley is just a great man. And he just showed stuff that brought others up, in another level. And you can say, as Coach Stoops had a platform where, he had what he had, and then Coach Riley, kicked it up to just one more notch. So it was actually a blessing, and I got nothing but love for both those coaches, and I've learned a lot, and I use their daily routines in my life as well. It's just, it's helped me, and it's got me to where I am now, and it's been great.
That's what's up. And Coach Ingers made a great point. That is, like, a lot of kids struggle with change, but I can tell in the way you talk and the way I can tell from a little bit that we've heard so far that you take preparation very serious. And a lot of times you can fall back on that preparation. And I won't say it doesn't matter who coaches you, because you still want to have a solid coach, but preparation like takes care of a lot of the doubt, and because you're always prepared for anything. But we'll hit this little, well, not little, but we're going to talk about this NCAA tournament, the men and the women, very, very briefly before we continue with the interview. Coach James, you asked me to go first. Everyone is claiming that their brackets have been busted. Well, my brackets are actually still pretty healthy.
That's what you say, though, really? Josh. I can't really believe you, because, like, you
really healthy. Wow.
All right, okay. Jordan, I'm glad you said you got a great sense of humor, because I definitely got a secret to tell you about Coach E at the end of the show.
Oh, no. Don't even. We're not going. Josh, we got company. Listen, we got company, Josh. Don't even go there.
My bracket is healthy. I'm at about 96% on the women's side, and right now I'm sitting at 89% on the men's side. It's very healthy. The only thing, and Jordan, I heard in your voice you were doubting me, and that kind of hurt me, brother, because you said really. And but I'm good. Like Tennessee is the only ones that messed me up. The only ones that kind of like chopped me up for the Final Four was Virginia, because I had Tennessee beating Virginia in the Elite Eight, because I felt Tennessee could have scored more, but Purdue wound up beating Tennessee, and now Virginia's in the Final Four. So I'm still pretty solid. And, I I will say this, I got very lucky this year with my upset picks because I knew it wasn't going to be many. And I got very lucky. I knew Murray State was going to win in the first round, but I knew Florida State was going to beat them. I got out of there very quick with all my upset picks, and I didn't do any Cinderellas this year. I knew there was not going to be any glass slippers this year. I just saw it coming, and I'm still doing pretty well, and I'm doing great on the women's side. But I've been very, very pleased with the amount of parity in the women's tournament this year. Like, it has been lovely. You know, that's been big because, you know, on the women's side, you know, it's not as much parity. You know, UConn and the Tennessees and the Baylor, you know, Tennessee's been struggling lately. But I've been very pleased with the parity this year. But that's why I am. Coach E, how's your bracket? Obviously, your bracket has imploded because you upset the mind.
My bracket has not imploded. It exploded last night. Duke lost. But it didn't. I still got the other three right. Like, I got 3 of the final 4. I just have no chance at winning. So, you know, Coach K let me down last night. Personally,
you know, it wasn't Coach K. I'm gonna tell you why I struggled with Duke this year. I'm gonna tell you, and I'm a Coach K fan, and Coach K's been coach forever. Coach K is literally the first college head coach who autographed I got, and I lived in D.C. with John Thompson. You know, we used to go to games, to Georgetown games for free. But I'm tell you why I'm not gonna blame Coach K. Coach K has adjusted what he does. He changed the way he recruits. He's getting the one and done guys. But I just never, as talented as R.J. Barrett is, his game translates more to the NBA than it does college because he plays like, I'm showing my age right here, but he plays a lot like Clyde Drexler. Everybody thought, oh, he's a point guard. But he was the best player at a young age. But he doesn't really make anyone around him better. Like, he can get buckets, he can score, he can get in the passing lane, play a little bit of defense. But, like, other than throwing Zion that alley every now and then, you don't really see R.J. Barrett getting easy looks for his teammates. So I knew that was going to catch up with Duke down the stretch. Yeah, I knew it was, and it bit him in the butt. In that tough game. And what's crazy, that goes to show how talented R.J. and Zion are because it still came down to a half of possession, 1 point.
Half of a point, basically.
Yeah. So I still feel they had a chance, and I think those guys will have unbelievable careers. But RJ's game struggled because he needs that illegal defense element where dudes can't just sit in the paint because he's so dynamic and he's long and he can finish and he's athletic and he's fast. I think he's going to have a great NBA career, but I knew they were going to kind of cross him up in that tournament and sit on him in the paint and make him take tough shots. But that's what I got. Jordan, what you got, bro?
What was up? How'd your bracket do, Jordan?
Well, so my bracket lost in the beginning. You know, I was going to hope for OU to win it. You know what I mean? So I'm always going to be an OU fan, regardless. And you know, when OU lost, I said, well, you know what? Might as well just shred this bracket up a little bit. But you know, I really wanted to see another rematch. You know, maybe of North Carolina and Duke again, but that didn't happen. That didn't happen as well. So you know, when Michigan State beat North Carolina, and that happened. And I was just sitting there like, well, you know, I'm just gonna forget this. So I started going in looking at baseball. Like maybe I'm gonna start watching baseball a little bit. But I haven't really got the chance. I really got a chance to see the women as well. So I definitely might tune into that. But you know, you hear about UConn, and so it's like, well, they win all the time. So I'm like, you know what? I don't know if I want to waste my time looking at that either. But I do want to say congrats to Texas Tech for making it. You know, they're still part of the Big 12, and I still give them credit for that. So if they can hold out and pull it out, I might be kind of salty, but at the end of the day, I'm going to say, look, Big 12 won it.
Big 12 won it.
That still bring money in for the whole school and the organization of the Big 12. So, you know, just hopefully, my fingers are crossed. You know, I don't want Auburn to win it or none of them cats. So let's see what happens, man. For real. Yeah,
well, let's see what happens. But let's get into it, man. Josh, you can go ahead and start.
Okay, I'm gonna start. Well, Coach Yusuf's always putting all the pressure on me to go first.
Josh, man, stop that, man. We got company. I keep on telling you we got company. Stop.
You can go first, man. I ain't gonna bite, man. Come on, we can do this.
I appreciate it, brother. I appreciate it. All right, so here you go, Jordan, man. Again, much respect, man. I know how hard it is to make it to the level you're playing at, and again, fans, the casual fans are taken for granted. You know, a lot of times it's almost borderline disrespectful for this, because you don't quite understand the sacrifice you have to make to be, one, a college athlete, and then two, to be blessed enough to be a professional athlete. It takes a lot.
Right.
But here's what I want to get your perspective on, because you're still fairly young, well, compared to me, you're young, and you know, you're a grown man, and I respect you with that. But you know, the mindset. What is your opinion on the state of the young athlete? A lot of times we hear the word, all the young athletes are entitled, or they're not mentally tough. And on the positive side, sometimes you can hear that they're more prepared, because now you see how young receivers and young quarterbacks and young linebackers can come in the league and have an instant impact where you wouldn't have seen that 15, 20 years ago.
Right.
You know, so what is your opinion on that? And I definitely want to give mine. What is your opinion on that? Like the state of a young athlete, how do you feel?
I'm just, for me, I think, or how I look at it is, you know, you just got to look at the role models that are in the game today. You know, you got your Odell Beckham, your Jarvis Landry, your Julio Jones, you got your Antonio Brown. So all these cats, all these athletes that are in the game today as we speak of, they already set the tone. And so as a young athlete growing up, you know, for me, you know, I was looking at Jerry Rice, Megatron, guys that I just saw coming up there. And, you know, they had a certain swag that they brought. They had a certain, you know, aggression, style of play. And, you know, I looked at that and I'm like, all right, you know what? I want to base my craft, my skill sets off of that. Nowadays, you got people making celebration moves, one-hand catches. Everybody wants to make a one-hand catch the game. Everybody wants to show out. So the image is already set. And so as you're growing up, people already have this idea of athletes already being, you know, everything's given to them. Everything is all this easy, go get it type styles. But really, we sacrifice hours and hours and hours of time just to get an opportunity to play on the field for 60 minutes. And not only that, I mean, it's one of those things that I look at young athletes now, is a lot of people don't understand, like, it's a privilege to get to do all the stuff that they're doing right now. And so I don't even get mad at them when they do, you know, the crazy introductions about where they're going to go to school at, where they want to play at, because all the hard work they put into it. Now, some is talented, yeah, but some do work hard for it. And so you can't really get mad at them. I had a lot of people growing up was telling me, well, you get all these privileges, you got a whole scholarship, you ain't got to worry about paying this off. Well, I understand that, but you work hard for that. It was times that I didn't get to go out to go kick it on a weekend in high school, or I didn't get to go do all the extra stuff that I got to do because I had to sit in, or I had to wake up early in the morning, you know, and do extra grinding. And in the our summer times was always busy. I don't think I remember having one summer off completely, because it was always come back in. We got to get ready for the season. Stuff was always busy. And so athletes are always on the go. And at that age, you kind of getting this you kind of getting this publicity where, you know, if you do something crazy, it might affect your college chances. So people really got to focus in. So a lot of the college cats that are in that level, you know, they focus in on, okay, now we can't do nothing crazy because we trying to make it to the league. Well, the people that are trying to make it to college, they got to focus on, I got to work on my grades. I got to work on my staying out of trouble. You know, I got to still take care of my responsibilities at home. So everybody goes through a certain trials and tribulations and troubles through the world, you know, and the world of today in the league is now the whole world's watching you. So you can't make one mistake at all, because if you make one mistake, it's on ESPN, it's on your local news in your city, it's talked about in your coaches. I will tell you this for a fact that anything that you do that's going to be bad, your coach going to find out, especially in the league. They're going to find out before you even be able to tell them. And then they want to find out if you're going to lie to them or you're going to say something different. So they're going to sit there and act like, oh, we didn't know about it. How about you tell us about it? That's how crazy it is. They know from the get-go. You have fans that are watching you constantly every single day. So it's not even, I wouldn't even say it's fun. You know, I would say it's actually stressful at times, because you really got to focus in and say, okay, if this is something I want to do, high risk, high rewards. If I want to be able to provide for my family, or if this is something I want to do because, this is just fun to me, it comes with, responsibility at the same time. So I look at the athletes today and I just tell them, it's one of those things that you just got to adjust to as what you see now. I mean, you're going to have guys that are going to look at it and take it the wrong way, but you're going to have a lot of guys in there that are trying to provide for their families for the future, that are just trying to get out of trouble, So I was the type of person, I was just trying to provide for my family, stay out of trouble, and just make a name for myself just as a person. I wasn't really into the whole fame of everything. I really told my mom, I said, if I can play for free, I'll play for free in the league. But that was just something that I knew that, okay, I just want to make it. I just want to get there. And, as you get there, as you get older, then you realize, okay, well, I do need to get paid a little bit because, these hits hurt just a little bit. As you get older, these hits hurt a little more. But, when you're growing up, your mindset not like that. Your mindset is just like, man, I just want to be able to just take care of my family, my loved ones, and live a good life. So, and at the end of the day, I mean, life is always going to hit you ups and downs. I was hit with ups and downs constantly, just with different situations, or whether it was injury or it was in schoolwork or just, relationships. So you're going to have those moments. But, like, if you can stay on track, I kept my faith right. And so if you can stay on track on whatever keeps you focused, I believe those athletes that are in the game today, or even the young cats that are coming up, they can still do the same thing that I'm doing right now.
I heard you make a reference to ups and downs. What do you think was, what would you say was your biggest obstacle on this journey that you've taken?
I think my biggest obstacle what I was taking on this journey was probably, after having 2 surgeries. That was pretty big on me. It just kind of set me back. That's what it felt like. It set me back big time. And I had to really look at myself and tell myself, okay, like, what's the next step? How can I bounce back from the first one? And, when the second one happened, then it was like, okay, how can I bounce back? Just getting back my mindset of playing ball again. Cause you kind of have this mindset of like, man, I'm tired of playing now, because if this is the case, then, I don't want to get hurt again. But you can't think like that. So I had to really sit there and ask myself, do I really want to keep playing this game? And when I told myself I do, then my mindset shifted back over to, okay, then let's go back to grinding again. Let's go back to the basics. And that took some time. It took a lot of prayer. It took a lot of time by myself. I ain't gonna lie, I was pretty angry with God at first, and it was times where I was just like, I don't know why you're trying to do this to me right now. And it wasn't that he was trying to do this to me. He was just trying to show me that with even the situations that life brings, I can still pull you out of it. I can still get you out of the situation. So as an athlete, we go through situations all the time in the game, whether it's the wrong route or where you drop a ball, whether you miss the block assignment. And I had to go back and think about it. I'm like, yeah, that's right. I mean, we always are put in situations where we do mess up. How do you bounce back from it? Do you just forget it and go to the next play, or you just sit there and soak about it, and then that's another mistake and then another mistake? So I look at it like that, and it's brought my attention to to focus in and just appreciate my my body as an athlete. You just gotta appreciate yourself, and so I try to appreciate every little thing I can from my body and just mentally. And those steps right there help me along my way, especially going to the league.
Yeah, Jordan, I love how you discuss how you don't have a problem with like how the young guys use the ceremonies on where they're going to college and those things. And I asked you that question because I was at a leadership conference just recently, and basically a ton of coaches across the state were in there, and one of the things we kept talking about was, how the athletes are different, Well, I don't know if I stepped on any toes, but my position was, I think we look at saying how athletes has changed is almost like a bad word, which is completely flawed, and it shouldn't be that way. And they were looking at me, and some people rolling their eyes. I said, let me break it down to you like this. I'm a basketball coach. 20 years ago, you never, other than Magic Johnson, you never thought of 6'9" and 6'10" dudes bringing the ball down like LeBron or literally playing a straight 3-man like KD. But if you give me a 6'9" point guard, you think I'm going to say no? No, you're going to embrace that change, right? Mm-hmm. So the same changes that we are willing to embrace, we have to also embrace those changes we don't quite understand. And when you do that, you'll understand it. Like athletes, believe it or not, because of social media, because of internet outlets and just the overall exposure, athletes are a little bit more knowledgeable than they were 20, 30 years ago. So now I can't just beat a kid up mentally and tell them and talk to them any type of way and still expect them to perform, because they know, hey, that's not really how it's done. Because I've literally seen college coaches lose their job for treating people bad. So it's not done like that. So it's a beautiful thing to embrace the change, and and when you embrace every aspect of the change, the only thing I don't negotiate with is bad attitude and bad work ethic.
Yeah.
Once we master those things, because now I'm selling you short as a leader if I allow you to do those things. But everything else I can embrace. I can understand that you are sensitive to how people look at you and what people think, because like you just said, the whole world is looking at you now. If you tie your shoe at the wrong time, what was he doing? Oh, he's a terrible person. Why would he tie a shoe at that time? So it's different. But as leaders and as coaches, we have to make sure we are embracing the change of these young athletes. And what you're going to see, it's really not that whole much has changed. Kids want to do well. Like you said, you was willing to play for free. But brother, like you said, them linebackers run too fast.
Them hits hurt a little bit. You start going,
exactly.
We get like at least $5 from this. Yeah.
Not only do I want you to get paid, brother, I need you to make pension also. So play your long and healthy. Okay.
Yeah.
So I get it, man. I get it. So I get kind of upset when people have a problem with change, especially with young people, because I don't want to be one of those old men that's old and gray and, oh, boy, why you do it like that? No, I don't want to be that guy. I always want to be someone that promotes growth, someone that embraces change and just move on, because my sons play now. And it's crazy because my oldest son makes it very easy. I thought I was about to have 10 kids if every child would have been like my oldest son. But after I had my second son, I said, we might only do one more and that's it.
That's might be the end of the trail. Yeah.
Oh my gosh! Like we tried to have a girl, but it turned out to be a boy, and that was it, brother. I felt bad for my wife. I told my wife I married her because she was a D1 athlete, so all of my kids are athletic, but we ain't having no more kids, man. We ain't having no more.
Jordan, real quick, what advice do you think you'd have for an athlete trying to be a pro?
Man, I would say, one advice I would give out is just keep doing what you're doing. As an athlete, everybody's gonna try to persuade you, and they're gonna try to make you seem like, oh, if you do it this way, you're gonna do it better. If you do it that way, you're gonna do it better. One thing I've learned is if that person is in the same shoes that you in, and they're not on that level that you want to be at, then it's like, okay, that's one thing after the other. Now, if I had a player that's in the league, he's been in the league, he said you want to do it this way, you got to do it this way, then I'm listening, because I'm like, all right, he's there now. The person I'm talking to next to me is telling me this, and I don't see no change. We both in the same spot, same situation. So I would say really just be yourself, man, and listen to only the advice that you need to listen to. Don't try to change your style because you see somebody doing it and you think that might help you too. Always listen to your coaches. That's always been big to me. So, they might tell you some things that you might not want to hear. But then I always sit down to my coaches and I'm like, I just want to hear it straight. So where am I bad at? Where can I get better at? And how can I do it, consistent? And then that way I can be able to play on this field for you as a player. So, tough criticism hurts at times, but I look at it like, okay, this is going to make me sharper as a player, as an athlete, and then really just grow from it instead of taking it and talking about, coach don't know what he's talking about. I'm about to go do this way regardless. Man, they trust me. They got it all set up. They got the scheme set up. They have everything set up for you. So make sure you pay attention and listen, and then just, the best way you can, just stay out of trouble. Like a lot of people, really hurt themselves off the field more than they do on the field. That off the field issues and stuff that you're getting involved with, the league knows about. And so when they know about, they look at it like, okay, instead of getting them for a higher price, I'm going to get them for the low. Because now he's going to really want to play regardless. and said, like, okay, this person, he done everything right, so we got to pay him. You know what I mean? So one of those things that I always looked at was, you know, if I stay out of trouble off the field and I'm competing with a guy and he's just as good as I am, and he stays in trouble on the field. I mean, stays in trouble off the field, and I'm looking at it like, okay, well, that coach is gonna look at it and say, look, I want to take the guy that stays out of trouble, and we're gonna work with him versus the guy that's real good, but he stays in trouble off the field. So like we're gonna look at that, and that could be your ticket in. So always look at all your options, man, because you know you never know if you're gonna get drafted, if you're gonna be undrafted, if you're gonna be a tryout kid. You don't know, but whatever path that you take, at the end of the day, you still gonna make it in the door. You know, one foot gotta go in, but the other foot comes in right after. So, no matter what it is, man, just be yourself. That's what I would say.
Amen. Yeah, that's some powerful advice. And I guess the cheat code of it, Jordan, is knowing, like you said, who to take that advice from. Because a lot of people struggle with that, man. They don't know who can really help them. But I guess when you're true to yourself, I guess you can kind of see through some of the nonsense, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, no doubt. Coach E, man, you got any more great questions for Jordan?
Yeah, man, I got about one more, man. Well, actually, I got two more. Kids, I know from coaching them, young athletes struggle with the balance between being a leader and a team player. And I saw in your bio a little bit that it says that you have the ability to do so. So what do you think allows you to be able to keep that particular balance?
I mean, you know, I've actually seen a lot of leaders on my team that, you know, I know what their role is, and I know what my role is as well on the field and off the field. Great example, you know, one of the guys that, you know, I played with in college, Baker Mayfield, just a guy that has energy, you know, his passion for the game, and that will to win. You know, a lot of the guys looked up to that. A lot of the guys seen that, and they had that desire of, okay, well, wherever he goes, we going. But at the end of the day, I had a role from my group as receivers, whereas it was like, okay, my coach would sit me to the side, and he's like, look, I need you to work hard. I need you to bring some fire to the game because, you know, in practice, we might be a little sluggish. We might be a little down. And, you know, it was me and I would say one other guy in there, another teammate of mine that were two old heads, you know, going into it. And, you know, I was going in and I saw Sterling Shepard. I saw Deron Neal. Kenny Stills just left at that moment, at the time. But then I had like Jalen Saunders as well. So there were some guys that I looked up to. There were some guys that I saw that brought the energy to the receiver group. And, you know, as years went on, it was almost like, okay, well, the torch is about to pass. Now it's about to be my group. You know, it's about to be my opportunity to, you know, make a spark for my team as well. So while Baker took over the whole offense, you know, I would take over what I can on the receiver side and just make sure that everybody is going to bring that fire. Now, at the same time, a lot of people had different roles. Some people play more, some people play less. But at the end of the day, we had one goal, and that one goal was to try to make it to the national championship. That was just point blank. And I knew for me, like I played, but the injuries kind of held me back just a little bit. So I had to play, but still play on different levels of the game. So I played receiver, but I also played on all the special teams. Wherever a chance I can go make a play in the game, I'm gonna go make a play. OU Texas making a big tackle on a punt, running down there, stopping them at the 20-yard line, 15-yard line, just little things like that. Whatever I could get involved with, and I'm gonna make an impact regardless. So those things right there showed me how to be a leader regardless, even if I do a lot, do a little, or do nothing at all. So I really took that and I ran with that. And, you know, just being able to be blessed with the Don Key Award was an award that, you know, something that was given to the highest athlete at OU for football, just on any level for your character on and off the field and leadership. It was something that I was like, wow, I got accepted for that. You know, they all voted for me for that, you know, and it was just like, how did I touch people outside that receiver room when I didn't even get to talk to him as much. But I guess they seen the will of, okay, this guy's been here for years. He has never complained. He never said nothing about, well, I ain't playing no more. I ain't doing this. Instead, I was always willing to just go the beyond and just try to compete, the best way I can, regardless of whatever I've been through. And I realized it wasn't about me. It was about the mission that God had for me and the journey. So to touch other people's lives. So now I'm in the history books for this award that anytime I can go bring my family and my kids up there, I'm like, look, your dad's right there. It's just something that I can always cherish and accomplish. It's a big accomplishment. And I think that's what I would say to other athletes is just like, you're going to be a leader to somebody, regardless. I have little kids that hit me up on my social media and be like, man, you're the greatest, man. You're just a role model to me. And I'm like, man, I didn't even play that much. I didn't even do as much that I would want it to do on that field. But my character and how I, hold myself accountable to things, I think that's what they see and they go, wow, like to me, that's great. To me, I saw your high school tapes. To me, I saw what you did in college, and now you're in the pros. And can I please get autograph? Can I please? It's just like, wow, like, okay, like I appreciate those little times that I did say, okay, I'm going to be a leader for my group. And then watch how that spread, and it was contagious, and it just kept going and going. So, yeah, man, I would just tell people to be you, be your own leader. You know what I mean? Whether you're going to be the big leader that leads the team on offense or on defense, or just be a leader in that group or just to somebody, and then show them the right way, and then watch how that spreads like wildfire. I mean, literally, it will, and it sparks people's eye, and then they get their attention on you, and then you got them right there where you need them to be. So just be your own leader, man. That's what I would pay for them.
Okay.
That's great.
Well, you're an ambassador for Evolve Sports 365.
Mm-hmm.
Tell our listeners about that.
Yeah, Evolve Sports 365. I am the ambassador for it. It's something that my mom has created, a program based off of character. One of the biggest things that she really saw for me and my sister, because my sister, she's dominating in character right now, so she got like all these awards and stuff, and I'm like, you actually started pretty early, so I'll give you that pass. But I'm proud of her. I'm proud of my sister. She really set an example for females and just all athletes involved in this whole situation of going from middle school to high school, and hopefully she can carry it to college, and then if she wants to play in the pro level as well. But yes, I'm just I'm a person that my mom based the whole program around just off the character standpoint, and also just being that person that people can see and look up to, and show examples of it's going to be hard, yes. And not everybody's going to make it to the league. Not everybody's going to make it to their profession. But there's other ways that you can get involved around that profession. So that character is everything. That character will take you far. A character will take you farther than a lot of things. And not only that, the education will take you far as well. So, being able to graduate from the University of Oklahoma, I think that was probably my biggest accomplishment. And then the league was probably my second biggest one because, nowadays people don't realize that you do got to graduate. That paper does mean something to you, just as, just as like a little representation of your family sacrificed so much for you to do everything you can. So it's like, I'm showing y'all, like, I didn't take this for granted. I didn't, slack off. This is for y'all. So, me graduating really was something that I wanted to do for my family, period, point blank. So I told my mom I wasn't going to leave early and try to pursue the NFL. I said, I'll at least graduate, and then I have at least given one shot to go to the league. So I'm glad I got to do both, and it's one of those things that I'm very happy about. And so my mom, she really based this whole program off of that, and it's been great, man. I've been starting this little group with the Young Kings basketball team that we've been starting around here in Dallas. It's going to be an AAU basketball team that's been we've been getting ready, and I know it's basketball, so I'm not really a huge basketball player. I can do my little step back curl, the little Steph Curry shot. Every
I'll
blue moon.
I'll lock that up.
Okay, we'll play tomorrow. But you see that competitiveness kick in?
I love it.
But it's been one of those things because my brothers, they play basketball, and my brother's really good. And I told them, you know what, let me go ahead and try to create a AAU basketball league, and then put you in there, and then bring other kids around, and then teach the program to the kids that are involved in that basketball program. So I looked at it like, well, I'm gonna teach y'all how to be a pro athlete right now, and if I can teach y'all how to be a pro athlete right now, going into y'all middle schools, your high schools, and everything, y'all know how to adjust. Y'all know how to be in front of the camera. Y'all know how to prepare for a game. Y'all know how to set the tone right, and y'all know how to stay out of trouble, point blank. So if I can get a group of guys that can stay out of trouble, I know that program was worth it. So, yeah, man, it's been a great experience doing that, and I think it's gonna really blow up big. And I'm very excited for it. I'm proud of my mom because she really just sets the tone, and she really brings that fire to the passion of this whole Evolve 360. So it was one of those things that I said, you know what, let me join now before she leave me, because she said, I'll leave you if you ain't gonna hop on. I'm gonna go ahead and go bit past you. So I said, let me go ahead and hop on this train real quick, and we haven't looked back since.
No doubt.
Well, go ahead and to the listeners out there, man, if you get an opportunity, you want to know a little bit more about it, visit www.evolvesports365.com. That's www.evolvesports365.com, and that's 365. As with all of our guests, when they come on, we ask a simple question. You said you're okay in basketball, but I'm pretty sure you know basketball pretty well.
But you know what though? You know what I was thinking? Let's change it up. He's an NFL player.
He's an NFL player. So okay. So you got one?
I got one for you. So Jordan,
okay.
What I'm gonna do? I'm gonna name the receiver. You give me the DB you think can shut that receiver down or lock that receiver up.
Oh,
ready?
My goodness.
Okay. Yeah, I'm putting you on the spot. I'm going to hit you with some heavy hitters now. All right. You ready?
Okay.
Jerry Rice.
Ooh, James Ramsey.
Ooh. Randy Moss.
Ooh, Richard Sherman.
Okay. I can see that.
That's tough.
I can see
Andre Reed. Andre Reed.
Oh, gosh. Marcus Pierce.
I like that because he will go across the middle. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Last one. I'm gonna give you two quarterbacks. You tell me a free safety that can quarterback against him. Tom Brady.
Ooh. Man.
He about to say nobody.
If you said Tom Brady, I was gonna be like, man, you might as well just pick nobody, because that dude he got all the rings. Okay, if I pick one person, I would say Ed Reed.
Okay. And now
I'm gonna go in there.
That was Ed Reed that was a GOAT pick. Here's the tough one. I'm gonna put a twist on this one.
Okay.
Randall Cunningham in today's game.
Randall Cunningham? Are you serious? Okay.
Yeah. Not Randall Cunningham era, in today's era.
But you said into today's era, so you trying to make me pick a free safety that can guard him.
Mm-hmm.
Guard a brother. All right. I want to say, man, that can guard. If any chance, I mean, he be making them crazy passes. So I would want to say maybe Cam Chancellor. That way he can see some fear in the backfield. So he might be like, maybe I might question this a little bit.
Right, he might get hit.
Yeah. Let me say Cam Chancellor back there, because he might be like, look, you see that dude? That's the only person I could probably think height wise. I can be like, look, I'll go for the jump ball or whatever. But yeah, I'll probably take him. Yeah.
I'll take it. I like it, man. We really appreciate you being on the show, man. And I just got one question for you. This relates to Coach E right here. You've been coached by a lot of great coaches,
Josh.
And
Josh,
and I know you've had some great mentors. And a lot of times as coaches, we demonstrate. But let me ask you this, brother: had one of your coaches do the 1 mile run and squat just to demonstrate with a pair of khakis on?
Never.
Jordan, do not follow Josh up. Do not follow Coach Staley up.
Is this something that you did?
Oh man, listen, Coach E, man, he was so heated one day. His guys just went pushing it, and that man literally got out there with full blast khaki pants. And I ain't even talking about like the stretch, like Adidas khaki pants. I'm talking about the old school duckhead joints with no give, and went out there, dog, and ran a mile and squatted. Now he thought I was trying to pick at him. He didn't understand how impressed I was that he was able to do that. And then he works close to the school, and he walked home.
Josh,
that is a legend coach move. That's legend.
Thank you, Jordan. Thank you. You always put you in the Hall of Fame.
Put you in the Hall of Fame already.
You're in the Hall of Fame.
Man, look, man, Josh, man, you got to stop that, man. You got to stop. But Jordan, man,
I won't do it no more.
Yeah, you are. You're gonna do it next week. You're gonna do it in the next show.
I just want to get into the shout outs, man. Jordan has gave us so much of his time. We appreciate it. Let's get to the shout out so we can let this brother go. I'm sure he got to go work on some Madden skills or something. I'm gonna
a little Madden skills a little bit. Sitting down. You probably gonna catch me watching a little bit of Friday. I was going to chill and sit back and chill. But yeah, man. If you want to reach out to me, man, I would say just reach out to me on my social media. JSmalls_09 is my Instagram, and then JSmalls_17 is my Twitter. So if just people want to reach out and any questions or anything, I'm happy to answer them best I can. And I definitely appreciate being on the show. You guys are some characters, but you don't think I'm playing. I still want to see about that basketball skill. I got my jumper just right. It's just right. It's just right. I ain't gonna run a mile and squat, but it's just right.
J Money. I'm gonna call you J Money on this one. Like I'm a different type of beat. I only play one way, and I ain't talking about dirty. But yeah, I play like old Kobe. Old Kobe.
Oh, okay.
I play like young Kobe. I'm backing you down, baby.
So you number 8, then I'm gonna play 24. He was still vicious though. Black Mama was still vicious. But
man, we gonna get to our shout outs, man. I will go first. I'm once again, man. Shout out to Nipsey Hussle family. I'm praying for y'all, and not just Nipsey, man. It's just so much like nonsense going on. We got to stop losing people. Coach English is an educator. I'm an educator. We're fighting to try to change the mindset of people, man, especially our people. And I'm praying for them because the brother was doing a lot for the community. Shout out to our listeners. Shout out to everyone, man. My wife, right now, my wife is being a super wife. She got 2 of my sons out. And it's cold down here in South Carolina at a baseball game just so I can do this interview tonight. So shout out to my wife, man. Every coach is a great wife. Jordan, are you married yet? Are you married? I got a piece of advice for you. Are you married?
No, I'm not married.
Okay, brother, listen to me, brother, because I know you're a competitive dude, and I got in trouble with this. Take your time, get married. I know you're going to love your wife. It sounds like you was raised right, so I'm not worried about you doing that part. But, brother, if your wife try to talk you into an Apple Watch or a Fitbit challenge where y'all do the step challenge every day, do not do it, dog. My wife has been calling me a cheater since Christmas because I've been beating her with my steps every day, and it's got ugly. She said she done call me not a good teacher because I know you don't walk around your classroom. So it has gotten bad because I've beaten her every day for about 3 months straight now. So don't do it, Jordan. Just be like, baby, it's cute. No, don't do it, dog.
She hit you with the low blood stuff to make you feel bad. Like, hold up.
She told me, I know you don't even teach like that. I said, yo, you talk about my profession right now. I said, I do coach. Like, you got to wait in the basketball class every morning. She don't want to hear it, so if she was to walk in here right now, she would roll her eyes and call me a cheater again, man. But I appreciate my wife, but don't do the Fitbit challenge, Apple Watch. Rolex, don't do it, dog. If there's anything step, just tell her, baby, I support you, and let her challenge her friends, but don't let her do you. Coach, I'll give you a shout out, bro.
All right, man. Quick shout out to my players and stuff. Working hard already. Out with the trainers today. Shouts out to you, Jordan, for being on. I appreciate you giving us your time. And shouts out to you for putting up with Josh for 40 minutes. It's hard to do. I have to do it every week, but definite shouts out to you for that. And shouts out to your endeavor. Once again, y'all, it's www.evolvesports365.com. So check it out. Once again, as you always know, if you want to join the conversation, hit us up at the Staley and English Show. That's the Staley AND English Show at gmail.com. And don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and 5-star rate. As always, keep God first. Everything else will follow. Peace.
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 Hey, Siri.
Hey, how may I help you?
Play the Relationship Status Podcast.
Playing the Relationship Status Podcast.
You know, I would ask him, like, what are you doing? You know, where are you going with this? What are you trying? And he really didn't have, like, a real answer.
Okay.
So I didn't feel like we were going to be compatible later on down the line.
I think that goes back to something I've often heard and think myself, that men date women thinking they're never going to change, and women date men
Thinking that they are.
thinking that they can change them.
Relationship Status. New episode every Monday at 12 noon on Defy Life Network.